Hey guys, Constance here. Welcome back to A Good Life Farm. So I am out here doing a little bit of foraging. I mentioned, oh gosh, about a week or so ago that it was honeysuckle season and that I needed to make another batch of honeysuckle jelly. This is something I made last year and I blogged about it and everything. I have the recipe on my website, and it was probably my most popular jelly jelly that I made last year. But honeysuckle season is kind of short, and I've already noticed that a lot of it is beginning to look like this. It is shriveling up, it's drying up, and so if I'm gonna want to make honeysuckle jelly, then I'm gonna have to get on it. And to be honest, I don't really have time to make jelly today, and this is just a little trick I want to share with you. You know, if it's honeysuckle season but you don't have time to make the jelly, what you can do is go ahead and do your harvesting, get all of your blossoms, make the tea. You're going to, the regular, like, basic recipe uses 4 cups of blossoms and 4 cups of water, and you simmer those together and you create a tea from the blossoms. And that tea is what you're going to use to make the jelly out of. If you don't have time to do it while it's in season, while the blossoms are out here, make the tea and you can freeze it. You can freeze it and then you can thaw it out and make the tea, make the jelly out of it later on. So I don't have time to really do canning today, so I'm gonna go ahead and harvest the blossoms while I can, make the tea, and then I will make the jelly. I might make it tomorrow, but I know I can't do it today. I've got other things that I need to take care of. But like I said, the blossoms are starting to shrivel up. A lot of the patches of honeysuckle that we had out here are gone. So I needed to get on it before it was too late, before we had to wait another year. Now, something else on my website, cosmopolitancornbread.com, where I share this recipe, if you look at the photos of the blossoms, you notice that they're all the crisp, white, fresh blossoms. Now, it was my understanding that that's the blossoms you wanted to use to make the jelly. However, I have since learned that just because they are a little bit aged and turning buttery, those are actually the sweeter blossoms, and they make even better jelly. So this time around, instead of spending all of the time looking for the crisp, fresh blossoms, I'm just picking all the blossoms, as long as they look good. Because like those ones that I showed you a minute ago, they were kind of shriveling up. I'm not using them if they're shriveled, but I will use them if they're sunshine yellow. Now, this patch last year was really, really thick, and I picked most of my honeysuckle over here, but I'm noticing that this year there's not quite as much of it. So I think I'm gonna head on over. I've got a really big patch of it up on one of my fences that's just super full. So I think I'm going to head up there, and if I can get enough, I'm going to do a double batch of jelly, but I will at least do a single batch. Alright guys, so I brought in all of my honeysuckle blossoms and I rinsed them, washed them off with some nice cold water, sorted through there looking for any kind of leaves or anything like that, any sort of debris that I didn't want in there. So now I've got them in a saucepan, 8 cups of blossoms, 8 cups of water. So it's enough for me to do a double batch. And I'm basically just going to bring this up to a boil, turn it down, let it simmer for about 20 minutes. And then I will strain this out through a sieve with some cheesecloth just to get every little bit of the liquid out. And then that is the tea, essentially, that I'm going to save to make the jelly. And like I said, I'm not going to get around to doing it today, so I will stick it in the fridge, and if I'm not able to make this tomorrow, then I will freeze it and just save it until I get a chance to. But hopefully I'll be able to get to this tomorrow, but it's already late afternoon and I know I don't have time to do it today. So this is just a way to take advantage of the season, the honeysuckle season, and enjoy the fruit of that labor later on. Alright, you guys, so it has actually been several hours. I have been working on a family project, and so I have not really done any more filming. But I wanted to show you what I've got going on in here. This is my seed starting setup that I've got here in the bedroom. Got my boxes back there for the lights, so when I'm done using these I can box them up. But I have some seeds that I started out in the raised beds that I had planted, but I've been having some issues with them vanishing. I think what is going on is I'm already dealing with some pests. I think it's the sow bugs, pill bugs, roly-polies, whatever you want to call them. When you've got seedlings starting, they will eat them. And I think that is what has happened. And so I decided to start a few more seeds in here in my setup. Again, I'm getting a greenhouse very, very soon. And so hopefully this is the last time I'll need to do this sort of setup. But I figured one more time, let's start a few things. I went ahead and I started some apricot lemonade cosmos, some of the double Dutch cosmos, some Valuetta cosmos. These are all flowers that I had planted out there, and I'm just really not seeing much coming up. And so I want to make sure I've got my lovely cosmos this year, so I went ahead and started some seeds in here. I also started some of the red buff calendula, some more cardinal basil, some feverfew, and then the other thing that I've just not been seeing anything of is the cucumbers. I have not seen a single cucumber come up. And so I went ahead and I planted some seeds in here. I've got the Armenia stripe cucumber, which is one of the 2 varieties that I'm planning on growing this year. I'm not seeing anything in that one yet, but my Chicago pickling cucumber, I don't know if you can see that there. There is, let's see if you can see that. There is sprouts. So we've got some baby cucumbers coming up in there. So I'm very pleased to see those. Gardening is not for the faint of heart. You've got to be diligent. You've got to be willing to keep going at it when something doesn't work out. And you know what? The challenge has already begun this year. And so another thing that I'm going to be doing tomorrow is, you can see my sweet potatoes back here. These are those purple sweet potatoes that I started growing some slips. So tomorrow I'm going to take these out and snip off all of the shoots, the slips, and put them in water on their own and let them start rooting so that I can get those planted before too long. So quick update on another round of seed starting in here. So that is it for today. Thanks for hanging out with me again here at A Good Life Farm. I'll talk to y'all next time.